For fuck's sake.
Hold on, let me just get my books.
Hey, this is Megan.
And Sue in the restricted section.
And today we are finally doing the Sailor Senshi tag.
Yes, and this tag was created by Camille over at the Chameleon.
Yes.
And she also is the person who tagged us.
Yes, and we're so sorry that it took us so long.
But we will put her video down below. You should go check it out.
Yes.
And we have our homemade ratchet ass.
We're Sailor Ratchet.
Sailor Moon costumes on.
Yes. We're not Sailor Moon, we're Sailor Ratchet.
Yes. And we don't know shit about Sailor Moon either, so...
Not fuck all.
So,
but
oops.
We're going to give it a go.
Yeah, and we're drinking this peanut butter chocolate milk stout by Hands Brewing. I guess it's called Absence of Light.
Okay.
Let's see.
I smell
very
peanut butter.
apprehensive.
Me too.
I'm not a big peanut butter fan, to be honest.
Man, I love peanut butter.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that's pretty tasty.
Mmm.
That's delicious.
That works.
It tastes like chocolate milk, but also like peanut butter.
Oh, it tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup.
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh.
I'm impressed and surprised. Although, the guys at Brown Derby did tell me that this one was good.
Guys at Brown Derby have never steered us wrong.
Thanks, guys at Brown Derby. I really need to learn their names. This says, Absence of Light is a milk stout brewed with peanut butter. Chocolate malt dominates the grain bill, backed up by a combination of caramel malts and roasted barley. Overall, this gives the beer a very rich, complex flavor with notes of chocolate and coffee. This is topped off with a layer of creamy peanut butter and a slightly sweet finish.
Yes, all of that is true.
Yeah, and it's 7.1% alcohol by volume.
Oh, that's not too bad. But yeah, it is really creamy. It's very
It
creamy.
is. Yeah, this is really good.
This is a dangerous beer.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Would drink again.
Alright, so let's get into this tag.
Let's do it. So, the first question is Luna, which is a book or author that had a huge impact on your reading life.
So for this one, I chose Into the Land of the Unicorns by Bruce Covell. What was the question? I forgot at this point. It had an impact on my reading life. Because I think this was like the first chapter book that I ever read that I remember and that I like read by myself.
Oh.
And I read it over and over and over again. And then I just kept reading.
Kept reading after that.
Yeah, I just kept reading
Like
them.
a crazy person.
Yes.
Yes. I said 1984 by George Orwell. Dystopian novels are my favorite, and this is the first dystopian novel that I ever read. And I read this in high school when I was like super angsty, and I just like really got into it, and it just kind of stuck with me, and I still love dystopian novels. They're my favorite, so this is kind of what sparked that love.
Okay, the next question is Sailor Moon, a great coming-of-age story.
I had kind of a weird pick for this. I said The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. I feel like this is both a coming-of-age story in that it tells the story of this young man growing up as a child, but then also it tells the story of this young man kind of growing into his diagnosis and learning to manage it. So I feel like it's a coming-of-age story, kind of.
And I chose White Oleander by Janet Fitch. I think I've chosen this for this question in the past, but I love this book. I think it's fantastic. It's about a young girl whose mother goes to prison, and so then she gets put into the foster system, and about her growing up and being kind of fucked up because her mom's fucked up and she never knew her dad and blah blah blah.
It's all fucked up.
It's all fucked up.
It's
a really good book.
Alright. Tuxedo Mask. A book that rescued you from a reading slump.
I kind of did a cop-out and said Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
It's true, I couldn't really think of anything else for the question, but yeah, I bought all the Harry Potter books at once, and then I read them all in succession when I was like, it was after I got out of college, I think. Or maybe I was still in college, I don't remember. I think I was out of college. Yeah.
It's a good one. I said Game of Thrones because it was when I was in college and I was not reading for fun because I was doing college shit, And I read the first book of that series and got pulled into it and just read the whole series.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, next is Sailor Mercury, a book that really made you think.
I said I had two for this one that I could have used. So I'm going to go with Kindred by Octavia Butler because I've read that more recently. And that book is just really cool. It's sci-fi light in that it's really more about the story, but there's time travel involved in the story. So it's not super sci-fi, but it's kind of sci-fi. I don't know, it's really cool. So it's about an African-American woman who goes back in time to save her white ancestor. And she gets called back in time involuntarily to do so.
And I chose the book Count Us In by Jason Kingsley and Mitchell Levitz. I just read this book last month for Down Syndrome Awareness Month. The two authors have Down syndrome, and this is just it spans sort of a 3-year period, and they're talking about their hopes and dreams and their opinions on things, and etc. And it just really is a really important book, I think, to help understand people who have Down syndrome. And also a lot of, like, they talked about how when they were born, their doctors advised their mothers to just put them in an institution and forget about them because they said, they can't learn and things like that, which is not true. But it just really made me think about how people with disabilities have been sort of mistreated,
Shat
I guess,
upon,
and
yeah.
and like
Generally shat
not
upon.
included in
Yeah.
society whenever they definitely can and do contribute to society.
Definitely. I think people have a tendency to see the negative symptoms of disability
Yes.
instead of seeing the human being,
Yeah.
Yeah,
And one of them even says in the book, like, you don't focus on the disabilities, focus on your abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. The next one is Sailor Mars, a book that you related to that took place in another time or setting.
I chose another book that I just read last month, and that's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I think almost anyone could relate to this book in some way because there's so many different ways you could interpret it, but one of the ways I kind of interpret it was sort of having like a fear of having children.
Okay.
And I do have that. Like,
Okay.
I'm afraid not only of just childbirth, which sounds horrifying,
Ugh.
but also I'm afraid that if I had children, I would completely lose myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would only exist for them, which does happen to
Yeah.
Victor in the book.
Yeah.
Like, his life is ruined completely by this thing he created, which it was, his own fault.
Right, I mean,
but,
he had created something out of dead people parts, but
But yeah, I definitely related to that interpretation of it.
That's very cool. I had not considered that. I didn't have a pick for this, but I had a friend of mine tell me the other day that the way he describes me is Harry Potter meets Edgar Allan Poe. So I think he meant like the universes, not the people.
Right.
And so I liked that description, so I'm going to go with that.
All right.
That's my
Okay.
my weird roundabout way of answering that.
Next is Sailor Jupiter, a book that takes courage to read.
Ugh. I said A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara because goddamn, some shit happens in that book. And it's like one thing after the other, and it's just like bad shit after bad shit. And I think it takes courage to make it all the way through it.
Mm-hmm. And I said, oh god.
Oh, lad.
I said A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. This is, a little tiny book, so it doesn't really seem intimidating. But there is his, like, crazy made-up language, slang language that he uses in it that I think puts a lot of people off or makes them reluctant to pick it up. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's a good book. So if you, and it's one of those things where after the first couple chapters you figure out.
Yeah, you don't really notice it anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, I know that like glossaries exist
Oh, they do.
that
In my
help you
copy of that.
translate it. But
Yeah. Well, in my copy of that, there's a glossary in the back of it, of the copy I have.
yeah. Also, people might be intimidated or hesitant to pick it up because there is some like fucked up stuff in it. So
True fact.
there's that too.
There is that. Sailor Venus, a book that opened up a whole new world of reading for you.
I chose Selected Poems by Gwendolyn Brooks. I think before I read this, just about the only poetry I'd ever read was Poe. It's kind of like all I knew that existed in poetry. And so I really, really loved this collection. And it sort of, opened my eyes to a world of poetry, although I still don't read that much poetry.
To be fair.
To be honest.
Yeah,
but
I don't either.
Still.
I
was like, hey, other things besides Poe exist.
There's more poems. He's not the only poet.
I thought that the word poem came
Poe.
from Poe. Just kidding.
Just kidding. I, too, for a while, only read Poe, so I can relate. All right. So I said The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón because it kind of opened my eyes to him as an author, and then I've now read 4 of his books, and they are magnificent, and I love them. Magnificent.
Okay, the next one is I didn't read the first part. Chibi Moon? Did I say that right?
I don't know. Chibi?
A controversial book or author that you love.
I said, Asking for It, The Alarming Rise of Rape Culture and What We Can Do About It by Kate Harding. And that, she just talks about kind of what rape culture is, examples of how it exists in our culture currently, what kind of things allow it to continue and kind of fan the flame of it, and what can we do to stop that from happening. So, and it can be kind of controversial because there are still people who deny that is a thing at all, which is really fucking stupid.
And I chose The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. I don't think the subject matter is really controversial, but this is a book that a lot of people seem to hate, I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of people seem to hate Holden Caulfield, and I really, really liked this book, and I liked Holden Caulfield.
Sorry about you.
Oh no.
Sorry about you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one is Sailor Planet Attack.
Wah.
I don't know if that's what they do, but that's what I would do.
Yeah.
A book that embodies the values of friendship.
I chose the book Holes by Louis Sachar. Is that his name?
Louis Sachar.
I can't remember.
Sachar.
Yeah, the friendship between the main character, Stanley, I think is his name.
Yeah, Stanley.
Stanley and Zero.
Yelzance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think was, embodied the value of friendship because they really stuck their neck out for each other, and Stanley even went off after Zero whenever he thought he might die if he didn't.
That's true.
So
that's true.
It's pretty important friendship.
That's
values
solid.
There.
That's pretty solid. I said Watership Down by Richard Adams. I just thought, part of the reason why the rabbits survived was friendship, and especially between Hazel and Fiber, because the whole reason they survived is because Hazel trusted Fiber and chose to go on about, and they supported each other even when they pissed each other off and did stupid shit and all that. So, Watership Down.
All right, and the last question is, who would you want on your team to save the world, / who would you tag?
We chose 4 people to be on our Save the World team.
Yes, or 4 channels.
4 channels.
5 people.
5
technically.
Yes. We said The Drunken Library because,
there are
YouTube
sisters from the
twinsies.
Mistas.
Yeah.
Although I do think that if we were on a team to save the world with them, we might drink too much and just get drunk and distracted and
That's
end up
true.
fucking it all up.
Although I do feel much tougher when I'm drinking.
Yes.
So maybe that would help. And it would certainly lessen the anxiety of having to save the world. So,
Yeah.
you know.
But we might get drunk and end up in a karaoke bar instead.
That's true.
I was like,
Could go either way.
the world is over, but did you hear that rendition?
A Rainbow in the Dark.
Rainbow in the Dark.
Because it was good. It was goddamn good.
Alright, and next we are choosing Wish Fulfillment to be on our team. Partly because I'm pretty sure she's a Sailor Moon fan, so we wanted to tag her.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if she really does tags, but this seemed like
yeah.
one that might be up her alley if she wanted to do one.
And if not, just know we would pick you.
Yeah. But also, she brings like a really unique perspective, I think, to her book reviews, and so I think that would be important when you're trying to think of a plan to save the world.
The fucking world.
As well.
Yeah, I think so. I think she'd be very beneficial.
Yeah.
We also chose chapter stacks because you really seem like you have your shit together, and maybe you could help us in the Drunken Library get our shit together. So
Exactly.
Right. So you could prevent us from spending the time in the karaoke bar and actually focusing on saving the
You'd be
world.
like, guys,
Get your act on. It's time to
Also-
save the world.
also we want to go eat pizza with you.
Yeah, because you like pizza, and we're always down for pizza.
Alright, and then the last person we're choosing is That's What She Read. Because you would obviously be great at thinking of a cool name for our team.
Yes.
Because
you have
That's one of my favorite BookTube channel names.
Ever in the
That's
world.
What She Read.
Yes.
Yes.
We need your mind on our team. So yeah, that is our Sailor Senshi book tag. It's been a long time coming.
Yes, sorry we took forever. We have like a backlog of tags. So
We
if you
do.
tagged us in something months ago
Sorry about
and we
it.
haven't done it yet,
Sorry about it.
know that it's on our list. Although we're not very good at keeping track of our tags either, so maybe remind us anyway.
Remind us
Just be like,
anyway.
hey, I tagged you in this.
But this one we did not forget about. We just didn't want to half-ass it.
Right. We wanted to get our costumes together.
Yeah. Our Ratchet Moon costumes.
They look pretty good from far away, I think.
They do. Just don't get too close to
Yeah,
me.
don't get too close.
Because that's just paper.
All of this, our jewels are all paper.
Paper and tape. There's some hot glue going on over here. Yep. So just don't get too close.
It's a little rough up close. Alright, so this beer,
Holy
still
shit,
delicious.
this is delicious.
It's delicious.
I would
I'm
drink
into
the
it.
shit out of this beer.
You are drinking the shit
I
out
am
of it.
drinking the shit out of this beer.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty.
Mhm.
I'm really into it.
Me too. It's delightful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get it. Where did I put the bottle?
It's down here.
Okay. Go get you some
Get you
Absence of
some.
Light.
Where? What?
I
where's
don't know
that
why it
from?
has such a creepy Hands Brewing St. Louis Mo.
Yeah, it's
I
a
don't know
creepy
why it
little
has
picture.
such a weird fucking creepy
It doesn't taste like that
monster.
thing looks. Don't trust it.
Gross monster thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's much tastier than that thing looks like it would taste
Truth.
if I licked it.
If I licked it.
I think the beer is starting to get shrimmy.
And it's kicking in. Don't lick that creature.
It kind of looks like it would literally taste like shit if I licked it.
I feel like it would taste like a dirt, and then also the way a dirty washcloth smells.
So like that pumpkin spice
Like that
latte
pumpkin
beer.
spice. Sprinkle some dirt on that, and yes. Chapter sex, help us. Help us.
Oh man. Alright.
Oh, and I got the giggles.
Okay. So, that's gonna be it for us.
And there will be some links down below where you can find us elsewhere on social media.
And if you have not subscribed yet, please do for more Ratchet Moon.